Good morning and welcome to this reflection for this week on Wednesday, the 12th of August. And a lot's been in the news, I think, really, hasn't it, this last week? We're having this wonderful weather. And now I hear this morning on the news that parts of Scotland have got flooding. And then I've been following closely the situation in Mauritius, where the oil spillage from the Japanese tanker threatens the reef and all of that beautiful coastline. And I've been really heartened to see people pulling together there to do what they could to try and stop or limit the damage. And it was just lovely to see young and old, black and white, rich and poor, all with a single aim. And that was just amazing. And of course we have the ongoing news items about the coronavirus pandemic here and abroad. And locally, we are going to have our first service back in church this coming Sunday at 10:30. And those of you who are on our attendees list will have an email about that later today, hopefully. Those who are not on email will get a letter in the post. So it's all happening, and that's exciting. But things have been so different for so long, haven't they? And I've turned to Eddie Askew this morning, and he writes this: "Thank you for all you do for me, Lord, and for all you do for this restless world I live in, for the life you create and sustain, for your love which holds and feeds me and gives me strength, for your activity underlying the universe, gradually, patiently, working out your purposes in spite of all I do to help. And thank you for what you are, not just for what you do. Thank you for being the strong ground in which I sow my life, the sure goodness in which all good is rooted, and the love from which all love is harvested. Lord, there's a time for work, and there's a time for waiting, a time to let your love soak in, sinking into the hot, dry earth of my being, cool, refreshing, renewing. The trouble lies with me, Lord, the easy way I convince myself that if I'm not moving, everything stops. The way I substitute action for devotion and hide from your view behind a dust cloud of doing. Doing, always doing, in a restless fever of activity, fingers plucking at the bed sheets of being, yet never straightening them out. But I don't have to share your love. Don't I have to share your love? Share it with others. And isn't the only way... You see, I'm not giving in easily, Lord, to do something. Then another question hits me. You punch low sometimes, Lord. If I don't have time for you, no time to be, no time for just you and me in the quietness, if I don't open myself to your love, unhurried, uncluttered, then what do I have to share? And that spoke to me in a week where we've had, a lot of activity behind the scenes at church, making sure the premises have been cleaned, filling in a risk assessment, filling in a pre-occupation form because we've been so long not in the building. doing all of the things, doing all of the things that we have to do in order to fulfill our legal obligation to those who are going to be in the building. And all of this doing, all of this excitement, all of the trepidation perhaps for some, all of this, we need to gather up and we need to take that package and sit with the Lord. We need to do what we have to do. We need to keep all of you safe as possible. And we really want to offer something worthwhile in that building that's held so many hundred years of prayer. But we need to know that sometimes what we need is to be in the presence of God and let Him do the doing. Let Him take this from us. And so I very much look forward to seeing some of you on Sunday in the flesh and seeing all of you on the online service, which will also be still carrying on, of course. Now, both of those services are at 10:30, and no, I'm not going to split myself in half. The online service will be recorded just a little bit earlier on, and then the one in church, obviously, will be live. And so, God bless all of you. I'm planning to put some pieces of music up at various times through the rest of this week, if you wanted to tune in and listen to them. And I'll see some of you on Sunday morning in church. And until then, God bless you.